Hello, everyone. Happy National Poetry Month. Since today we're talking about for colored girls who have considered suicide when the rainbow is not enough, I decided to wear my rainbow Black Girl Magic shirt. And since it is Poetry Month, as always, obligatory self promotion. What if I wrote the world? Poems inspired by music written by me. And it is Poetry Month. And I'm a black girl who is magical. Check her out. And so this book is by Ntozake Shange. I just looked up how to say her name just so that I can be, accurate. And it is something different. It's a choreo poem. So it is a poetry book, but they do have um, stage cues and things like that for actual dancing. And I did watch kind of halfway through a performance. I know I should have watched more, but it is really cool to see it like, played out. So I'm going to give you her biography. She was a playwright and author. She was born Paulette L. Williams on October 18th, 1948. My aunt is named Paulette. So that's a very, yeah, pretty uh, year appropriate name. In Trenton, New Jersey, to Paul T. Williams, an Air Force surgeon, and Eloise Williams, an educator and psychiatric social worker. Her family regularly hosted artists like Dizzy Gillespie, Paul Robeson, W.E.D. Du Bois at their home. So that's really cool. Where was I? She graduated cum laude with her BS degree in American Studies from Barnard College in New York City in 1970. While pursuing her MA degree in the American Studies from the University of Southern California, Shange began to associate with feminist writers, poets, and performers. In 1971, she adopted the name Ntozake, I think that's how you say it, meaning she who comes with her own things, and Shange, meaning she who walks with lions, from the Xhosa language. She graduated from the University of Southern California in 1973. Okay, she has a lot going on. Okay. Upon joining Malufu Osumare's dance company, I hope I said her name right, Sanjay met Paula Moss, and their subsequent collaborations led to the invention of Shange's work, the choreo poem for colored girls who have considered suicide when the rainbow is not enough. The work was initially produced off Broadway in 1975 at the New Federal Theater in New York City, moving to Anspacher Public Theater in 1976, and then it premiered on Broadway at the Booth Theater later that same year. It went on to win an Obie Award, the Outer Circles Critic Award, and the Deleco Award. Originally conceived as a choreo poem, it has been published in book form and adapted into a stage play. In 2010, Tyler Perry produced and directed the film adaptation for Colored Girls, starring Whoopi Goldberg, Felicia Rashad, Janet Jackson, and Loretta Devine. Which I'm going to be honest with y'all, I'm not going to ever watch. I know the subject matter in the book is intense, but I feel like Tyler Perry does not have the. And I will say, I did look up what Natasha. I'm going to say Miss Sange from now on. I did look at what she thought. And I think that she was okay with it, but I just don't feel like he has the nuance and sensitivity to really do it justice. I feel like it's going to be exaggerated and very overdramatic. And I have now, like I said, the subject matter is, um, intense, but I also feel like he's not going to give it. I feel like he's going to make it even more intense and not, um, you know, as eloquent as it needs to be, shown. In 1978, she released Nappy Edges, a collection of 50 poems celebrating the voices of defiantly independent women. She produced the three-pieces trilogy of choreo poems, which she won the Los Angeles Times Book Prize. Her first novel was released in 1982, Sassafras, Cypress and Indigo, which followed with Betsy Brown in 1985, Lillian Resurrection of a Daughter in 1994, and she's appeared in a bunch of other works. She's an Emmy, Tony, and Grammy nominated artist. She received an NDEA fellowship in 1974, two Obie Awards. She received a Guggenheim Fellowship in 1981, the Paul Robeson Achievement Award in 1992, the Living Legend from the National Black Theater Festival in 1993, and she was induced into the St. Louis Hall of Fame. And she passed away on October 27th, 2028. And so yeah. So I'm gonna read. Let me see. I have the. It's not really tell you what it's about. But this version does have extra stuff. It has an extra poem and also pictures in the back. So I feel like that's cool. So the synopsis, it was released September 15th, 1976, and it tells a story of 7 women who have suffered oppression in a racist and sexist society. So let me see, when was the first Broadway play? Because I feel like that date might be a little. Okay, maybe in book form, even 1976, because it does say 1975 it was performed. So the characters in the choreo poem are Lady in Red, Lady in Blue, Lady in Purple, Lady in Yellow, Lady in Brown, Lady in Green, and Lady in Orange. All right, so that's a little about the background of the artist and the choreo poem. So I'm going to go over my pros and my cons and my overall opinion. So my pros are the poems, of course, since it is Poetry Month. And what I'm going to do is, I have, as you can see, I have a lot of favorites. So I'm going to read some of them so you can get the feel of it. And I got to find out which ones I like the most. Let me see. There was one really profound one, excuse me, that they all performed together that I want to read. And it's about sexual assault. So, trigger warning for that. Anyway. Oh, here it is. So it's on page 31. Let me see if it actually has a title. So they don't have any titles inside of the choreo poem, like when you read it. Okay, it's called Lenient Rapist. So here it goes. Lady in Blue. A friend is hard to press charges against. Lady in Red. If you know him, you must have wanted it. Lady in Purple. A misunderstanding. Lady in Red. You know, these things happen. Lady in Blue. Are you sure you didn't suggest? Lady in Purple. Had you been drinking? Lady in Red. A rapist is always to be a stranger, to be legitimate, someone you never saw, a man with obvious problems. Lady in Purple. Pinups attached to the insides of his lapels. Lady in Blue. Ticket stubs from porno flicks in his pocket. Lady in Purple. A little dick. Lady in Red. Or a strong mother. Lady in Blue. Or just a brutal virgin. Lady in Red. But if you've been seen in public with him, danced one dance, kissed him goodbye lightly, Lady in Purple, with a closed mouth, Lady in Blue, pressing charges will be hard, as keeping your legs closed when 5 fools try to run a train on you. Lady in Red, those men friend of ours who smile nice, smile nice, okay. Stay employed and take us out to dinner, Lady in Purple, lock the doors behind you, Lady in Blue, with a fist and face to fuck, Lady in Red, who make elaborate Mediterranean dinners and let the art ensemble carry all the ethical burdens while they invite a couple friends over to have you are suffering from latent rapist bravado. We are left with scars, Lady in Blue, Being betrayed by men who know us. Lady in Purple. And accept like a stranger. And expect like a stranger we always thought was coming. Lady in Blue. That we will submit. So this was a little long. Lady in Purple. You must have known. Lady in Red. Women relinquish all personal rights in the presence of a man who apparently could be considered a rapist. Lady in Purple, especially if he has been considered a friend. Lady in Blue, and is no less worthy of being beat within an inch of his life, being publicly ridiculed, have a two-fish shoved up his ass. Lady in Red, and the stranger who always thought it would who we always thought it would be. Lady in Blue, who never showed up. Lady in Red, because it turns out the nature of rape has changed. Lady in Blue, Lady in Blue. We can now meet them in circles we frequent for companionship. Lady in Purple. We see them at the coffee house. Lady in Blue. With someone else we know. Lady in Red. We could even have them over for dinner and get raped in our own houses. By invitation, a friend. That's the whole poem. So that's very intense. But yeah, that's kind of poems that are in here. I saw that one being performed on in the video, and it was really good. I'm trying to find another one that is not as long. But yeah, I like how they have, everybody interacting, everybody saying those words together. Let's see. And it's kind of like a play, so like everything's kind of together. So let me see something. Let me go to page. And they have a lot of, intense themes. So let me go to, so they have a poem called Abortion Cycle 1. I know that one's short, but, once again, trigger warning. It is intense. So here it goes. Lady in Blue. Tubes, tables, whitewashed windows, grime from age wiped over once, legs spread, anxious, eyes crawling up on me, eyes rolling in my thighs, metal horses gnawing my womb, dead mice fall from my mouth. I really didn't mean to. I really didn't think I could. Just one day off. Get off of me, all this blood. Bones shattered like soft ice cream cones. I couldn't have people looking at me pregnant. I couldn't have my friends see this dying dangling between my thighs. I didn't say a thing, not a sigh or a fast scream, to get those eyes off of me. Get them steel rods out of me. This hurts. This hurts me. And nobody came because nobody knew once I was pregnant and ashamed of myself. Very intense. So that's uh, another poem. So yeah, the poems are really good, and then they tell like a whole, story together. And then speaking of another pro, the subject matters are very unique, as you can see, talking about, rape, abortion, abusive relationships. Yeah, a lot of intense things. And then I like this other one. I don't know what it's called. Let me see what it's called. I'll give you a more positive-ish one. Page 60. Okay, page 59 is No More Love Poems number 4. Or page 59 says it starts. 59 to 63. So it won't be, I don't know if there's any really happy. I mean, there are some, but some of them are definitely longer. So I'm going to start from page 60. Um, so here it goes. Lady in Yellow. My love is too delicate to have thrown back on my face. Lady in Yellow starts to exit into the stage right oh, volume. Just as she gets to the volume, Lady in Brown comes to life. My love, so this is Lady in Brown. My love is too beautiful to have it thrown back on my face. Lady in Purple. My love is too sanctified to have it thrown back on my face. Lady in Blue. My love is too magic to have it thrown back on my face. Lady in Orange. My love is too Saturday night to have it thrown back on my face. Lady in Red. My love is too complicated to have it thrown back on my face. Lady in Green. My love is too music to have it thrown back on my face. Everyone. Music, music. And then they have a dance break. I'll read everything. Lady in Green then breaks into dance. The other ladies follow her lead, and soon they are all dancing and chanting. Lady in Green, yank, danka, dank, dank. Everyone, music. Lady in Green, yank, danka, dank, dank. Everyone, music. Lady in Green, yank, danka, dank, dank. Everyone but the lady in yellow. Delicate, delicate, delicate. Everyone but the lady in brown. And beautiful, and beautiful, and beautiful. Everyone but started by the lady in purple. Oh sanctified, oh sanctified, oh sanctified. Everyone but started by the lady in blue. Magic, magic, magic. Everyone but the lady, everyone but started by the lady in orange. And Saturday night, and Saturday night, and Saturday night. Everyone but started by the lady in red. And complicated, 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 and complicated. Then there's a new poem. So that one's, you know, not as depressing, you know. And then another one of my pros is the pictures in the back. So this is from the um, PBS production of For Colored Girls. And they had a picture from Broadway. I thought, okay, I think this is one from Broadway. Oh, this is from a dance rehearsal of the original on Broadway. And I just thought it was so cool to have all these pictures from when they did it on PBS and when they did it on stage. And then this is Ntozake Shange at 27. So you can see her. She has a little picture on the back of the book. It's not very big, but that was so cool to see her as well. And so those are all my pros. My only con is the stage cues and not being able to actually see or hear anything when you actually just read the choreo poem. But like I said, I did start watching it, so there are performances online. So I would definitely, I think that's what I should have done from the beginning instead of like afterwards, is listen and read at the same time. Because when I started watching it, I remembered the poems, like in the book, and it was really cool and really good to see it. So I can leave the link of where I started watching it from, and everybody who acted in it. At the choreo poem I saw was really good. That's the only thing. So just keep in mind if you do read just the book, there are no stage cues. I mean, there are stage cues, but you won't be able to like. I mean, you can imagine, what's happening, but it's always better to just see it actually. But I would recommend both at the same time. And then that was my only con. And so here's my overall opinion. It's very powerful. I think that this choreo poem still has very relatable messages today. And we still have to worry about sexual assaults, catcalling, abuse, among other injustices. And there's a very famous poem in here where a man is abusive to a woman. And then what is it called? A Night with Beau Willie Brown. And it's very famous from the movie as well by Tyler Perry. I'm going to spoil it if you haven't read the poem or seen the movie. He kills his own children. Now I don't know about in Tyler Perry movie if he changed any of the relations, but in the book they're his own children, and he's abusive, and the woman tries to get away from him. So that is one of the subject matters in here. So a lot of trigger warnings if you're going to read this choreo poem. I love the poems. I said I would love to see it live. Um, and I said I was going to read it as well as read it alongside of watching it, which I'm like halfway-ish through. I had like an hour and 10 minutes. I might not be halfway. I might be like 30 minutes in. It's not really halfway, but you get what I'm saying. Definitely some traumatic and graphic topics, but still showing Black women persevere despite the bad times. So I know I read like a lot of sad poems, but at the end, um, they do overcome. Speaking of the end, I think they talk about it in the other poems. But at the end, they say, so it's Lady in Brown, and she says, and this is for colored girls who have considered suicide, but are moved to the ends of their own rainbows. So basically, even though you're sad, you've overcome it. You overcome it, and you got your own rainbow. I thought that was a really nice message to end it on, even though there is one more poem after that. But I think this was an extra poem that wasn't in the original, but I thought it's a good, message to give. And I would give this book a 10 out of 10. Subject matters can definitely be intense, but I definitely think it's worth the read, though, and watching a performance of it. And going with the theme of rainbows, I did write a poem called Rainbow as well. And it's an acrostic poem. So, hello, editing self. I've already made the picture. I'm going to insert it here and I'm going to have it up on screen while I'm reading it. Raising our girls to be afraid of what can happen to them, but never insisting it doesn't happen. Never changing behaviors that men and boys do that oppress them, but only warning girls who not to be around and never giving them peace. So yeah, that's a rainbow. And I thought that would be a fun, I don't know, fun title. But you get what I'm saying. Since it has rainbow in it, so that would be good to, you know, base it off of. And I thought that would be fun to tie it in. I don't know if fun is the right word. I know it's a very intense book, but have you read For Color Girls, the choreo poem? Have you watched the performance? Have you watched any performance? What did you think of the Tyler Perry movie? Were you traumatized? Um, which I feel like, I mean, the subject matter is traumatic, but I do also feel like Tyler Perry probably made it more traumatic. um, have so what do you think about it? Let me know what you think, and I will see you all next week.